they got close to Antarctica because okay, this is 1915 before all the treaty. And let's talk about that right quick. So back in the gap, like the 1700s, 1600s, it seems like, and even early 1900s, it seems like humanity, like society, we was wholesome. The powers that be today didn't really have their grip on the mental aspects of society. It's like I know there was propaganda and things like that, but it seemed like, just looking back at some of the things, the way that humans moved, the way that populations moved, things were more wholesome. I think things were more rooted in God back then than they are now. This is me. This is me going off the cusp. I'm just going into me. I really believe that we live in a for-profit society, right? So the world right now is everything's for profit. So we're driven by major corporations, all your top S&P 500 companies, your Nasdaqs, and all your big stocks, top Fortune 500, 50, whatever companies. Money is really the ruler. Money is driving everything. So when you dealing with worldly things from a perspective of profit, ethics and morals really go out the window, or they come second. So profit first, ethics and morals second. That is very dangerous, because ethics and morals may say, don't do this. But profits might say, this is what you need to do. This is the most profitable scenario. So if your ethics and your morals come second, and your ethics say this is unethical, but the profits say this is very profitable, in a for-profit world, in a for-profit society, you're going to go with the most profitable, regardless of if it's the ethical or not. In a kingdom-minded world or viewpoint, you're going to say, this is immoral, this is unethical. I'm not doing that. Yeah, the profit is here. The profit might be lower. There's still profit. They're not saying it's not profitable. There's still profit. Profit is going to be lower. Profit is here. But your moral, your ethics are here. So in that kingdom-minded scenario, you're going to go with the less profitable but ethical and moral. So now let's talk about where we are today. Things like exploration. We were free thinkers. Like the things that America is founded on, we really lived it. The American dream was something tangible. It wasn't just like nowadays it's just a dream. It was real. It was something tangible. So if I'm an explorer and I'm sailing the seas, the open seas, right? And there's this land called Antarctica. Hey, I can just get out the boat, go explore, and whatever I find, write a report or a document or whatever, however they communicate it, and it could get it can get broadcasted to the world. Like this major discovery. That's how we know about the Lewis and Clarks and the famous explorers, and we know about these things in the history books because People were able to freely share information. Nowadays, if I was to try to go to Antarctica, for example, there's I've never been there, but from what I've researched or I've heard or I've learned, there's like the countries are all in cahoots. There's a big treaty that everybody signed that says, hey, you can't go past a certain point, or we're not gonna. There's no more exploring here. There's something that we don't want people to see, or it's unsafe. That's what they always go into safe. It's unsafe. Uh, you know, or if you do say something out of line, then now you crazy. You're, oh no, he's gone loony. That's to try to save you, because if they make you go loony, they trying to save you and keep you here on this side of the, you know. Anywho, because you may find something that may hurt business interests, may hurt profit. We don't want you to do that. We don't need that information coming out. We need vehicles to run on oil, because that's profitable for us. Now you have electric cars and we're trying to go that route. But, there's a guy on TikTok, and everybody's always like, protect him at all costs. And everybody, we've been conditioned as a society nowadays. We know, it's common knowledge. If you come out right now with a vehicle or something that runs on a resource that is very renewable, that will hurt certain industries' profits, we know that it's dangerous as a society. Danger. We know that. Everybody knows that. It's unsaid. Nobody says it. We're not gonna get on here and say that, but we everybody know, right? So that's an example. That's what I mean by a for-profit society. We're not doing all the time the right thing. We're doing the profitable thing. And I don't like that. The world we live in could be so much better. Homelessness would not exist in an ethical and moral first society, because it's too much. It's okay. Why is it illegal to plant a garden in your front yard? If in most, I don't know the laws in all the cities and states, but I only know the one in my state. And I believe in this state it's illegal to have a garden in your front yard. Like, you can't plant a fruit tree or, any type of vegetation in your front yard. Like, you can do whatever you want in your backyard, but why? We got fruit that grows on trees. We got food, like vegetables, that grows out of the ground, that God gave us the ability to do, but we only can grow it on a farm. They should have fruit and vegetables growing everywhere. Like, I should be able to walk down the street and just pick an apple off anybody's tree and just eat the apple, because I wanted an apple at that point. But it ain't nobody tripping, because it's apples everywhere. Like, we're human. We're the humans. God gave us dominion of the earth. We control it. Not money. Money is not what was given control of the earth. But money runs this world. Money runs the earth right now, because if you don't have money, you can't do nothing. I mean, you can do something, but without money, they've made it pretty hard to do it. And you probably needed money to get to the point where you can do something without the money. And it's probably made, if it is something you could do, they made it illegal. Like, oh, you can't grow fruit in the front yard. Yeah, no, that's stupid. Logical human brain. Why is it illegal? What sense does that make? Why do we even? Money started out as a trade and barter system. It was just a way to a medium of exchange. I got apples, you got wheat, they got corn. Johnny down there got milk. Okay, I'm gonna trade my milk, my apples with your milk, and then you can trade the milk with, like, we were exchanging like that way. We had different crops that we grew. This was my skill, that's your skill, and we traded it like that. Maybe I needed to travel to another city. Maybe, we back then you're traveling by foot, so, or horse or camel or whatever. I can't carry all of these apples that I'm bringing to trade because I need this many apples to trade to get whatever their resource is, right? I might have to go to another city or wherever, travel a long distance because I want to trade my resource with your resource, right? So I can't carry all this. So that's where they come up with okay, well, you got to go a certain distance. You can't carry all your goods. Go ahead and exchange them. Sell it and get silver. Sell it and get gold. So now I've exchanged my apples for silver. So now that silver has a value based upon the resource that I traded it for. Cool. I could carry this silver, right? I could carry. That's easy. It's less than the apples. Now I got the tangible, the coin. I get to where I'm going. I could either take the silver and exchange it with the resource, or I could go buy more of the apples in that area. Whoever is the person that, maybe they want to sell something, and I could get the actual resource and then do the trade. Or I could just give them, if the person is willing to accept the coin, the silver, I could give them, and then now we start exchanging quote unquote money. And then at some point, the nature of a human is to just get lazy, right? So we just got to the point where we're now convenience. Let's just exchange the coin instead of the resource. But we still understood that the foundation, the actual what we're transacting is backed by the resource. It's not the money. It's not the money. Is just a go between. It's not the actual what's worth. It's not actually worth anything. It's not the actual. The money is not what the actual resource is. The resource is the crop that we put in the ground that God brought out and blessed us with. The resource is actually coming from God, not the money. We've given the credit to the money. So now the money is getting the credit that, oh, I was able to buy a car because I had the money. I was able to buy food because I had money. I was able to buy clothes because I had money. I was able to get money because I had a job. So now the job is getting the credit for the money, and the money is getting the credit for the goods, when God is the one who gave you the job. God is the one who gave you the ability to grow the food. God is the one who gave you the ability to have clothes. God has cut out the deal altogether. Whew. That's that warm and fuzzy. When the spirit comes in, that's how you know when God's presence is speaking, because I'm man. So let's go. Let's go. Where was I?